The world has ended. The power's gone. Cities are silent, and the supermarkets you once knew are now tombs of dust and broken glass. The delivery trucks have turned to rust, and your last can of beans feels like the final prayer of a dying civilization. But survival isn't about hope anymore. It's about knowledge, science, and sheer stubbornness. Welcome to the Apocalypse Pantry. Foods that never expire ever. This isn't a cooking show, it's a survival guide for the wasteland. Forget expiration dates, forget freshness, and forget the old world's rules. We're building a pantry so tough it laughs at time itself. A collection of foods that outlive governments, generations, and maybe even humanity. From salt that kills bacteria on contact, to honey that mocked pharaohs and still tastes sweet after 3,000 years. These are not just foods, they're edible immortality. We'll break down the science, the storage, and the mindset of turning simple ingredients into eternal lifelines. So grab your Mylar bags, seal your jars, and listen closely, because in this new world, your pantry isn't just storage, it's survival. At the heart of this eternal pantry lies what can be called the holy trinity of immortality: salt, sugar, and honey. These three substances are not simply seasonings or sweeteners. They are masters of preservation, possessing inherent properties that halt the processes of spoilage completely. Their longevity is not a matter of clever packaging or chemical additives, but a result of their fundamental scientific nature. They create environments so hostile to microbial life that bacteria, mold, and yeast cannot gain a foothold. By understanding why these three staples last forever, you can build a food supply that is truly timeless, offering security and sustenance no matter what the future holds. Salt is the first and perhaps most fundamental member of this immortal trio. Long before refrigeration, humanity relied on salt to preserve meats, fish, and vegetables. Its power lies in its aggressive ability to control moisture. Salt is a natural bacterial killer that works through the process of osmosis. When salt comes into contact with a microbe, it forcibly draws the water out of the organism's cells. Without water, the microbe dehydrates and dies. This process creates a sterile, arid environment, where spoilage is impossible. For salt itself to spoil, it would need to be contaminated by moisture, which is precisely what it is designed to eliminate. The key to salt's immortality is simple: keep it dry, stored in an airtight container like a mason jar, a sealed plastic bin, or even a sturdy Mylar bag. Salt is impervious to the passage of time. If exposed to humidity, it may clump together, but its chemical composition remains unchanged and its preservative power undiminished. A solid block of salt can be broken apart and used just as effectively as the day it was mined. For this reason, salt has been one of history's most valuable commodities, a form of currency and a symbol of purity. When properly stored, salt will last for centuries, making it an essential, non-negotiable foundation for any long-term pantry. It will not just season your food, it will preserve it. Next in the trinity is sugar, a substance often maligned for its health effects, but a champion of longevity. Like salt, sugar's preservative power comes from its relationship with water. Sugar is hygroscopic, meaning it attracts and binds with water molecules. When bacteria or other microbes attempt to grow on sugar, the sugar crystals immediately lock up all available moisture. This process, known as reducing water activity, effectively dehydrates the microbes from the outside in, stopping their growth and reproduction in their tracks. Jams, jellies, and preserved fruits all rely on this principle. The high concentration of sugar creates a biological desert where spoilage organisms cannot survive. Over many years, sugar stored in a pantry might absorb ambient moisture and harden into a solid, seemingly unusable block. However, this is a physical change, not a chemical one. The sugar has not gone bad. It remains perfectly edible and retains all its properties. A hardened block of sugar can be broken up with a tool, grated, or dissolved in a small amount of warm water to restore its granular texture. To ensure its indefinite shelf life, store sugar in a sealed, airtight container to protect it from moisture and pests. Whether it is white, brown, or raw, sugar's ability to control water makes its shelf life practically infinite. It is a source of energy and a powerful preservative that will remain viable long after other carbohydrates have turned to dust. The final and most legendary member of the immortal trinity is honey. Honey is nature's eternal sweetener, a food whose longevity is not just practical, but scientifically proven and historically documented. Edible honey, still perfectly preserved, has been recovered from 3,000-year-old Egyptian tombs. While civilizations rose and fell, the honey they stored remained unchanged, a testament to its incredible stability. This near-magical endurance is the result of a perfect storm of preservative properties. Honey's immortality stems from three key factors. First, it has an extremely low water content, typically around 17%. This arid environment, similar to that created by salt and sugar, is inhospitable to most bacteria and yeast. Second, honey is highly acidic, with a pH level between 3 and 4. This acidity is corrosive to the cellular structures of microbes, preventing them from surviving, let alone thriving. Finally, honey contains natural antibiotics. Bees produce an enzyme called glucose oxidase, which, when mixed with the nectar, creates small but steady amounts of hydrogen peroxide. This compound acts as another powerful barrier against any microorganism that might attempt to contaminate it. Over time, honey may crystallize, turning thick and cloudy. This is a natural process and not a sign of spoilage. The honey is still perfectly safe and delicious. Gently warming the jar in a bowl of warm water will return it to its liquid state without damaging its properties. Stored in a sealed jar away from direct sunlight, honey will never expire. It is the ultimate survivor food, a source of calories, and a natural antiseptic that stands as definitive proof that some things are truly built to last forever. The science behind the immortality of salt, sugar, and honey is both elegant and brutal. These foods create biochemical dead zones, where time itself seems to lose its power. They achieve this by manipulating two critical factors required for life: water and pH. By maintaining extremely low water activity, a measure of available moisture, or extreme pH levels, they construct an environment where the cellular machinery of microbes simply cannot function. Bacteria, mold, and yeast, the primary agents of decay, are stopped cold. This is not preservation in the sense of slowing down spoilage. It is the complete and total prevention of it. By stocking your apocalypse pantry with this holy trinity, you are not just storing food, you are stockpiling certainty. In a future filled with unknowns, these immortal staples provide an anchor of absolute reliability. They will be ready when you need them, whether that is tomorrow or 1,000 years from now. While the holy trinity of salt, sugar, and honey offers indefinite preservation, a true survival pantry requires more than just sweeteners and seasonings. It needs a foundation of reliable, dense calories that can sustain you through any crisis. This is the domain of carbohydrate immortality, where certain grains and starches, when stored correctly, defy the normal process of decay. They become a bedrock of energy, ready to be called upon years or even decades after being sealed away. Understanding which carbohydrates last and which ones fail is a critical distinction for anyone serious about long-term preparedness. The key lies in eliminating the very elements that cause spoilage: oils and moisture. When it comes to building this carbohydrate foundation, two staples stand above all others: white rice and pasta. These are not just pantry items, they are pillars of caloric security. Their longevity is not accidental, but a direct result of how they are processed. By stripping away the components that go rancid, they are transformed into nearly immortal sources of energy. They represent a pact with the future, a guarantee that no matter how chaotic the world becomes, a hot, filling meal is always within reach. Mastering the storage of these foods is mastering a crucial element of self-reliance. White rice is the undisputed king of long-term grain storage. Its incredible shelf life is a direct consequence of the milling process that differentiates it from its healthier, yet more perishable cousin, brown rice. Brown rice retains its bran and germ, which are rich in oils. These oils, while nutritious, are a ticking clock. Over time, they will oxidize and turn rancid, giving the rice an off-putting, spoiled flavor and smell. White rice, however, has had its bran and germ completely polished away. By removing these oils, the primary mechanism of spoilage is eliminated. What remains is the starchy endosperm, a pure, stable carbohydrate that, when protected from external contaminants, is virtually timeless. The secret to unlocking the 30-year-plus shelf life of white rice lies in its storage. Proper storage is non-negotiable. The goal is to create a fortress against its two enemies, oxygen and moisture. The most effective method is to seal the rice in mylar bags along with oxygen absorbers. These absorbers are small packets that chemically trap any residual oxygen within the sealed bag, creating an anaerobic environment where pests cannot survive and oxidation cannot occur. For ultimate protection, these sealed mylar bags should then be placed inside sturdy, food-grade 5-gallon buckets. This dual-layer system shields the rice from light, moisture, pests, and physical damage. When the time comes to open it, even 3 decades later, the rice will emerge ready to be cooked, providing the same life-sustaining calories as the day it was packed. It is the symbol of reliable energy in a world where reliability is scarce. Alongside white rice stands pasta, another champion of carbohydrate longevity. Pasta's endurance comes from its simplicity and its exceptionally low moisture content. It is typically made from durum wheat, a hard variety of wheat ground into semolina flour, mixed with water, and then thoroughly dried. This drying process reduces the water content to a level so low that it becomes an uninhabitable desert for bacteria and mold. Without moisture, microbial life cannot begin, and spoilage is halted before it can ever take hold. The harder varieties of pasta, with their dense structure, are particularly resilient. In a sealed, dry environment, they become the carbohydrate equivalent of fossils, waiting patiently through the ages. Just like white rice, pasta's enemy is moisture. Storing it in its original cardboard box is insufficient for long-term survival. The box offers minimal protection against humidity, pests, or physical damage. To ensure its immortality, pasta must be transferred to airtight mylar bags, also with oxygen absorbers to eliminate any insect eggs that might be present. Sealing these bags and storing them in a cool, dark, and dry place will protect the pasta for decades. While it may become more brittle and perhaps lose some of its subtle flavor over time, its caloric value remains intact. Decades from now, it can be boiled into a nourishing meal, providing the essential energy needed to endure and rebuild. It is a dense, efficient, and incredibly stable source of fuel for the human machine, making it an indispensable asset in any apocalypse pantry. A survival pantry built on immortal carbohydrates and seasonings provides a solid foundation for endurance, but true long-term self-sufficiency demands more. It requires a reliable supply of protein for strength and essential vitamins and minerals for health. Without these, the body weakens, becoming vulnerable to illness and fatigue. This is where the next tier of the apocalypse pantry comes into play: preserved proteins and nutrients that can withstand the test of time. While perhaps not truly immortal in the same way as salt or honey, certain canned and dried goods offer a multi-decade shelf life that makes them indispensable. These foods are your defense against malnutrition in a world where fresh options have vanished. Securing a lasting source of protein and vital nutrients is not a suggestion. It is a mandate for survival. Canned meats, dried beans, and canned produce form a powerful triad that ensures your dietary needs are met, long after supply chains have crumbled. Their longevity is a product of simple, effective preservation techniques that create an environment hostile to decay. By understanding how to select and store these items, you are not just stockpiling food, you are locking away the building blocks of life itself, ensuring you have the strength and health to face whatever comes next. The cornerstone of long-term protein storage is canned meat. Whether it's tuna, chicken, beef, or Spam, the canning process provides a near-perfect method of preservation. The technique is straightforward yet brutally effective. Meat is sealed in an airtight can and then subjected to high-heat sterilization. This intense heat kills any existing bacteria, yeasts, and molds, while the airtight seal prevents any new contaminants from entering. With no oxygen available, aerobic bacteria cannot grow and the contents are effectively frozen in time. Each can becomes a time capsule of protein, a self-contained, sterile environment where spoilage is rendered impossible. The key to relying on canned meat for survival is rigorous inspection. While the preservation process is robust, the integrity of the can is paramount. Before storing and most importantly, before consuming, every can must be carefully examined. Reject any can with dents, especially on the seams, bulges, or leaks. These are warning signs that the seal has been compromised, potentially allowing the growth of Clostridium botulinum, the bacteria that causes fatal botulism. A bulging can indicates gas production from microbial growth inside, a definitive red flag. When you do open a can, even one that appears perfect, the smell test is your final critical line of defense. The contents should smell exactly as expected. Any off or foul odor means the food is unsafe and must be discarded without question. When properly stored in a cool, dry place, and with these strict safety protocols followed, canned meat will remain a safe and vital source of protein for decades, ready to extend your life one meal at a time. For a plant-based protein that is equally enduring and incredibly efficient to store, look no further than dried beans. Legumes, like kidney, pinto, black, and navy beans are a prepper's ultimate insurance policy. They offer a potent combination of protein, complex carbohydrates, and fiber, making them a nutritional powerhouse. Their longevity is rooted in their natural composition and the drying process they undergo. When fully dried, their moisture content drops to a level that makes them almost indestructible from a biological standpoint. Bacteria and mold require water to live, and a properly dried bean is a desert. Furthermore, the hard, thick seed coat of a bean acts as a natural armor, protecting the nutrient-rich interior from pests and environmental contaminants. To achieve a shelf life of 30 years or more, however, you must enhance this natural defense. The ideal storage method mirrors that of white rice. Seal the dried beans in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. This removes the oxygen that insect eggs need to hatch and prevents oxidation. Placing these bags inside sealed, food-grade buckets provides a final layer of protection against moisture, pests, and physical damage. Even after 3 decades, these beans can be rehydrated and cooked, providing critical nutrition. They are a dense, space-efficient, and long-lasting lifeline that offers an incredible return on investment for any serious survival pantry. Finally, a diet of pure protein and carbohydrates is not sustainable. Without essential vitamins and minerals, the body will succumb to deficiency-related diseases like scurvy. This is the vital role of canned fruits and vegetables. They are your armored supply of nutrients, preserved through the same high-heat, airtight sealing process as canned meats. This method locks in crucial vitamins like vitamin C, as well as other essential micronutrients that are scarce in a post-collapse world. The best buy, or use by, dates printed on these cans are suggestions for optimal quality, not indicators of safety. For survival purposes, they are largely irrelevant. It is true that over many years, the texture, color, and even flavor of canned fruits and vegetables will degrade. The peaches may become soft, and the green beans may lose their vibrant hue. However, the nutritional content remains remarkably stable. The vitamins and minerals you need to maintain a functioning immune system and overall health are still present. Just as with canned meats, every can must be inspected for dents, rust, and bulges before it is deemed safe to eat. By stocking a variety of canned produce, you are ensuring a balanced diet that can prevent the slow decay of your own health. They are a non-negotiable component of any pantry designed not just for survival but for long-term health and resilience. Canned food is preserved time, and in the case of fruits and vegetables, it is preserved vitality. Beyond the foundational pillars of protein and bulk carbohydrates, a truly comprehensive survival pantry must account for 2 other critical factors: sustainable daily nutrition and functional utility. An apocalypse is not a short-term emergency. It is a long-term reality that demands not just survival but a semblance of normalcy and health. This is where a diverse range of immortal essentials comes into play. Items that provide consistent, slow-release energy for daily tasks, crucial nutrients that are otherwise difficult to source, and versatile compounds that serve multiple roles from cooking to sanitation are not luxuries. They are necessities. Building a pantry that includes these elements is the difference between merely surviving and having the capacity to rebuild. The next level of preparedness involves stocking items like oats, powdered milk, and certain non-perishable condiments. These may seem like secondary concerns, but they are the bedrock of daily routine and morale in a world stripped of comfort. Oats provide a reliable, comforting start to the day. Powdered milk offers a ghost of the dairy we once took for granted, and condiments like vinegar and baking soda are multi-purpose chemical workhorses. Their incredible longevity is like other immortal foods, a matter of scientific principle. By mastering their storage, you are stockpiling not just calories but comfort, health, and functionality for the decades to come. Oats are the definitive breakfast of the apocalypse. Rolled or old-fashioned oats are a superior long-term food source, offering a powerful combination of complex carbohydrates and fiber. This nutritional profile provides slow-release, sustained energy, which is far more valuable for a day of physical labor than a quick sugar rush. Their potential for longevity comes from their minimal oil content. Unlike grains that retain their oily germ, oats are processed in a way that stabilizes them, drastically reducing the potential for rancidity and spoilage over time. When kept free from moisture, they are remarkably durable. To unlock their multi-decade shelf life, The storage of oats must be treated with the same seriousness as rice or beans. The enemies are identical: oxygen, moisture, and pests. The solution is the proven three-part system. Seal the oats in mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, then place those bags inside sealed food-grade containers or buckets. Stored in a cool, dry place, your supply of oats will last for 30 years or more. Beyond their nutritional value, oats provide a profound psychological benefit. In a bleak and uncertain future, the simple act of preparing a warm bowl of oatmeal offers an illusion of civilization, a comforting routine that can help maintain morale and mental fortitude. It is a taste of the old world that provides the energy needed to build a new one. Dairy is one of the first casualties in a world without refrigeration, but its nutritional benefits, particularly calcium, remain critical. Powdered milk is the solution, the ghost of dairy that can haunt your pantry shelves for decades. By removing nearly all the water content from milk, the dehydration process creates a powder that is inert and inhospitable to the bacteria that cause fresh milk to spoil. When stored correctly, non-fat powdered milk can last for 20 years or more. While whole milk powder offers a higher calorie and fat content, its shelf life is shorter as the fats can eventually go rancid. For maximum longevity, non-fat is the superior choice. The absolute enemy of powdered milk is humidity. It is exceptionally hygroscopic, meaning it will aggressively absorb any moisture from the air. A single drop of water, or even prolonged exposure to humid air, can cause the entire container to clump, harden, and spoil. Therefore, airtight storage is not a recommendation. It is a strict requirement. The original cardboard box or bag is inadequate. It must be transferred to a sealed mylar bag or an airtight container and stored in the driest location possible. Over time, the taste may degrade, becoming less like fresh milk and more like a functional, chalky supplement. One prepper aptly described it as disappointment with calcium. But its flavor is secondary to its purpose. It provides valuable calcium, protein, and other nutrients, making it a powerful tool for preventing nutritional deficiencies and a significant morale booster when a semblance of milk can be added to a meal. Beyond food, a survival pantry must include immortal compounds with universal utility. Here, vinegar and baking soda stand supreme. They are the chemical pillars of a prepared household, each with properties that make them functionally eternal. Vinegar is, in essence, edible acid. Its extreme acidity, with a pH typically around 2, makes it a powerful antibacterial and antifungal agent. Nothing can grow in it, which is why it has been used as a preservative for millennia. It does not expire. In fact, over many years it can be corrosive enough to degrade certain plastic containers, so storage in glass is ideal. Its uses are nearly endless. It can be used for preserving other foods, pickling, cleaning and disinfecting surfaces, flavoring bland survival meals, and even for rudimentary first aid. Whether it's white, apple cider, or another variety, vinegar is a bottle of acid that laughs at the passage of time. Baking soda is vinegar's alkaline opposite, and it is just as immortal. As a stable chemical compound, sodium bicarbonate, it does not decompose or spoil. Its versatility is legendary. Its primary use may be as a leavening agent in baking, allowing you to make breads or biscuits with your stored flour. However, its value extends far beyond the kitchen. It is a powerful cleaning agent, an effective deodorizer that can neutralize odors in your living space or on clothing, and it can even be used to treat indigestion or acid reflux. To maintain its integrity, baking soda must be stored in an airtight container. While it won't spoil, it will readily absorb odors from its environment, which can render it useless for cooking. It is chemistry in a box, a universal survival compound that serves countless roles, making it an indispensable asset for long-term resilience. The ability to store food for decades, even centuries, is not a matter of magic or mystery. It is a matter of science, a deliberate and calculated manipulation of the environment to halt the forces of decay. The core principles of eternal storage are elegantly simple and ruthlessly effective. By understanding and applying this science, you transform perishable goods into timeless assets. This is not about hoping for the best, it is about guaranteeing a future based on immutable scientific law. Your pantry becomes more than a collection of food. It becomes a fortress against the ravages of time itself. The entire strategy hinges on defeating the two primary agents of spoilage: moisture and oxygen. First, you must remove moisture. Bacteria, mold, and yeast. The microorganisms responsible for decay require water to live, grow, and reproduce. By creating an environment of extreme dryness, you effectively create a biological desert where they cannot survive. This is the principle that makes salt, sugar, honey, dried beans, and white rice virtually immortal. Second, you must remove oxygen. Oxygen is essential for many forms of life, including insects and mold. It is also the fuel for oxidation, the process that causes fats and oils to go rancid and degrades the nutritional quality of food over time. Eliminating oxygen suffocates these threats. Achieving this state of suspended animation requires specific tools. The first line of defense is the mylar bag. This material is far superior to standard plastic, as it provides a barrier against light, moisture, and oxygen. Inside these bags, you must place oxygen absorbers. These small packets contain iron powder that chemically reacts with oxygen, trapping it and removing it from the sealed environment. Once sealed, these bags should be placed into a final layer of armor. Sealed plastic or metal containers, such as food-grade 5-gallon buckets. This outer shell provides a robust defense against pests, physical damage, and any ambient moisture that might try to seep through. The final element is the storage location itself. A cool, dry, and dark area where the passage of time slows to a crawl. Building this immortal pantry is a profound act. It is a declaration of defiance against entropy and decay. Every grain of rice, every can of meat, and every crystal of salt is not just food, it is a unit of time that you have secured for yourself. Stockpiling these eternally viable foods is not an exercise in paranoia or a hopeful gamble. It is a calculated act of guaranteed endurance, built on a foundation of scientific certainty. The immortal pantry stands as a powerful symbol of resilience. It represents the application of human knowledge to conquer a fundamental fear, the fear of scarcity and starvation. When the fragile systems of the modern world inevitably collapse, these foods will remain. They will be a quiet, potent rebellion against oblivion. While chaos reigns outside, your pantry will be a bastion of order, a physical manifestation of foresight and control. It is the ultimate insurance policy, one that pays out in the most valuable currency of all, continued existence. This is not just about storing food, it is about building a fortress against oblivion, ensuring that when everything else turns to dust, you have the means to endure, to rebuild, and to survive.